Hello everybody and welcome to this week's Markets to Watch from Smack the Markets for week commencing the 20th of May. Now this week we start the week off with a fairly light day for fundamental numbers, but there's still plenty there for the markets to get their teeth into. We've got the seemingly deteriorating sort of situation between the US and China trade negotiations, but now also the Iranian situation tensions to keep traders on their toes. We're also expecting news flow from the UK government to give us some sort of indication over the timescales for a change of Prime Minister. So plenty there for the markets to keep focused on. So let's go and take a look at some of the markets that we're keeping a close eye on in the trading room this week. So if we come to take a look at the Dow Jones first of all, this is the Dow futures contract. The market's sort of up against an interesting level, a level that we've been sort of talking about for some time and also been quite key in our trading. And that's this 25 sort of 850 or 25 sort of 860 sort of zone here. You can see that the market rallied right the way up to that level last week. And at the moment, we're kind of sitting right in that sort of price point. So the level's really quite a good key technical level. You can see the market's tested that multiple times. And here on the daily chart, this sort of looks rather interesting in the context of a short trend and the context of a short move. If the market sort of breaks the low of this sort of bearish candle for last trading session. However, on a more local sort of time frame, the markets have been extremely bullish. And we can see here on the 4-hour charts that price action has been testing around this sort of 25 sort of 850 area for several days here, about hitting the level, pulling back, retesting it again. And it's kind of sitting around that sort of area here today as we move into the trading action for this week. So what we're looking for here is we're looking for price to make a decision at this point. Our sort of what we're sort of looking for really on a short-term basis is we're still bullish on the US indices, and we're looking for moves here up here towards that sort of 26,000 and then 26,200. But we'll see how price action sort of decides here, because it really is at a key decision point. I think either way this market goes, we've got some very well-defined structures to the long side and to the short side. So for intraday trading, which is what we prefer to do on this market, there is a very clear plan either way the market decides to go. Now, let's come and take a look at our commodity for this week, which is oil. And this was the same last week. So last week, our favorite commodity was the oil market too. And in fact, we had some nice trades on oil last week as the market sort of broke above the 62.50 level. Now, that was the level that we were particularly sort of keen on. If we take a look at this on the 4-hour time frame, we were looking for this price above 62.50. We had to wait until towards the end of the week for that to materialize, and then we caught some of this move here as the market sort of rallied up. Our ultimate target here on oil is for this trading window to be fulfilled up towards that sort of 64 sort of 80 area up here on the 4-hour time frame. So we're still bullish on oil as long as this these trends stay intact, and you can see that the market's just sort of pulling back into the sort of value area here on the 4-hour time frame at the moment. So even if we start to sort of mark a couple of sort of structure levels in here, you can see that coming back into this sort of 63 area is an area where we could start to look for sort of opportunities for this market to turn around. We'll certainly be looking to see if we get any sort of signals around that sort of price point. Now, if we come and take a look at currency markets this week, a lot of this is all going to be down to the US dollar, whether the dollar can continue to strengthen or whether it's going to roll back and soften at the sort of first half of this week. We've certainly seen over last week, we've seen the dollar strengthen as money's been put into sort of safe haven environments, and the dollar has benefited from that. We can see that here on dollar Sing, which is one of our picks here, is that the market's had a very good move, over sort of recent weeks to the long side. It's recently sort of pulling back and taking back some of this overextension that we're seeing on all of these time frames. On the daily time frame, we can see that the market's pulled back into quite a key level, and that's this sort of area here around 137, sort of 750. So it's pulling back into a level. It's taking off some of the heat of this sort of overextension. And here on the 4-hour time frame, it's sort of coming back into these sort of moving averages as well, back into that sort of value area. So what we're sort of looking for here is we're looking for evidence that the dollar is going to come back in and strengthen. And if we get a stronger dollar, this is at the moment one of our sort of favorite US dollar markets to look to participate in that sort of dollar strength. So there's a few markets there that we're keeping a close eye on in the trading room this week. I certainly sort of hope it helps, and look forward to speaking to you next time. Bye for now.